100 Years, 100 Voices. A St. John Centennial Oral History project conceived and produced by WSJS Radio, where every day is history.
Hi, I'm Madison, and
I am Conchita. I am Madison's mom.
In what grade did you start St. John's?
I started St. John's in kindergarten, and I was 5 years old. I came from Montessori, and I got here in January, which was mid-year.
Who was in your classroom?
Well, many people were in my classroom, and I do remember my frenemy, who then became my best friend. Her name was Giselle. We didn't like each other in kindergarten, but then in first grade we became best friends, inseparable. And there were a few people who also graduated with our class that started in kindergarten as well.
What activity do you remember?
I did like a lot the PE. You know that they had they had a trailer and they would do the physical fitness exam at the beginning of every semester. I thought that was a lot of fun. We had to do like 50 sit-ups and then do the stretching to see how far we stretched, and then we had to run like 7 laps. Another thing that I thought was really, really fun was the field trips. We went to the factory of Atari.
What's Atari?
Atari used to be what Nintendo and we are now. It used to be called Atari, and that was like the video game company, and I didn't know that they made them in Puerto Rico. So we had a field trip and we were taken to that office somewhere in Carolina. And for me, that was major. Also, we got to Leatherly Laboratories, which is where they made Tylenol. And I learned that Tylenol was made in Puerto Rico. And then I asked, but why, I don't know. It was shipped to the U.S. I found out. It was shipped to the U.S. and then shipped back to Puerto Rico. And we would buy our own product back. So for me, that was an awakening moment. And it was in elementary school.
Do you remember any of your teachers in elementary? Who was your favorite teacher?
Well, my favorite teacher in elementary school was Mrs. Myatt. Her name used to be Mrs. Donovan before she got married. And she was my first grade teacher, and she was the most loving and caring teacher ever. And my friend Giselle had tutoring with her, and I wanted to have tutoring also. I wasn't allowed by my mom, but I wanted to stay just because I wanted to stay in school longer. Were our teachers, and they were really, really good teachers because they would not translate. They always said that you learn your first language without any translation, because when you don't know any language, you don't need to translate. So we had to learn it from scratch, and if we asked what a word meant, she would never tell us what it meant. She would do like Pictionary so we could figure it out, and that was a lot of fun. Sometimes it was nerve-wracking because it would take forever, but we had to figure out what words meant through our own, context, I guess.
Why do you think St. John's is an amazing school?
That's a good question, Maddie. Many reasons, I think, but one very important reason is that I think that the people that come out of this school, regardless of whether they're valedictorian or regular people or good grades or not any grades, come out with a sense of self-confidence in that they can do their own things, regardless of performance. Everybody that, they just kind of do whatever they need to do, and I don't think people here have a self-confidence issue, which is very important for when you grow up, because when you grow up, you just have to believe in yourself and do your own thing, regardless of where you work or what you choose to do. I don't know what it is about the school that makes that happen, but people are very self-sufficient and confident. And another thing that I do like about this school is that people here are very relaxed. They're not, it's just okay to be however it is you are. It didn't matter if we had like hand-me-downs, or if people used to wear like fashionable clothing or just hand-me-downs. It just wouldn't matter. Everything was okay. And I think that's nice.
When you were in school in St. John's, did you guys have uniforms?
No, we didn't. We had to wear clothes, and it was so difficult in the morning that I was told in my house, my parents used to ask me to take out my clothes, pick it out the night before, so that we wouldn't run into any problems in the morning. Because sometimes, we're three girls, so it could take forever. And also, not only that, but in school, it was very, very liberal as in terms of what you wore. Because there were like people who were preppy, you had the punks, you had the this, and everybody could have their own personality. I mean, uniforms are great, and I do like them also, but it was just and everybody got along. It didn't matter, and it was good. And I think it's healthy. One thing that I should mention that I do remember was in high school, we used to have the Noche Puertorriqueña. It was like in November before Christmas. It was always around that time of year. And as we had it forever since kindergarten, but as we grew older and we got into high school, I realized the kids were actually doing the Noche Puertorriqueña. And I remember this one time where we were in the gym. It was already built before. It used to be a playground with like sand. And they built the gym, and we were on the second floor picking up chairs and putting them back together cuando se acabó, when it was over. We were putting back the chairs, and I remember this friend of ours who had just transferred from school. He came from, I don't know, San Ignacio Marista, and he came to St. John's, and he liked it, and I remember he was voted member at large, so he was obviously very popular fast. And he was in charge of all of this. And one day he mentioned that he really, really was amazed that in this school, the kids would actually be happy to do the work. Because we were all collaborating, and we were responsible for the Noche Puertorriqueña to set it up and to put it together and to put everything back. And we were all helping. I wasn't even in the student council, but I thought it was fun. So I came to help out because all my friends were helping, so why not? And yeah, the kids did their own thing. They sold their own tickets. They picked up. They were in charge of the food. They had to even call the parents to ask for sponsors. The parents wouldn't do the work. It was the kids. And maybe that's why they are so self-confident, because they were doing this all along. They all had to get together and do it.
Out of all the schools in Puerto Rico, why did you choose St. John's?
Because we like it very much. Also, it's a very good school, and you will learn to write and to have critical thinking and all the other aspects of it.
Mama, do you remember any stories or like something that happened?
Wow, where do I begin? How many years? 14 years worth of stories. Many of them have to do with classwork, actually. I do remember. Okay, I'll say something about class and then not. There was a teacher where we learned. I was in advanced science before AP. This was in the 8th grade, and we had a teacher who wanted us to learn all the bones in the body. His name was Mr. Hunley, and he was from Oregon. And he wanted us to learn all these bones. And what we did was we would play bingo with bones. Instead of bingo, it was bones. And then we had to he would roll out the names of the bones, and we had to place it where it went. And whoever got bones won. And I thought that was really fun. And I still remember every single bone of my body.
It's like
today.
It's like trivia. I love trivia.
There was a teacher called Mrs. Horowitz who showed us everything about Shakespearean iambic pentameter, and we had to memorize the soliloquies in Macbeth and in a whole bunch of others, and then write it for bonus on exams. I still remember the Macbeth soliloquy of I thought it was so hard to learn it, but she was a very, very good teacher. Yeah.
Any other teachers that you liked during high school?
Well, I did learn how to do research with Mr. Mannon in the 7th grade, and all he would always say in class was, back it up, back it up, back it up. I learned that.
Mr. Mannon?
Yes, it was very useful in college when I had to write a lot of papers. I got there and all I remember was back it up, back it up. So everything I would write, I had to back it up. And that all started in the 7th grade.
Any other teachers?
Let me think. Yes, I had math teachers. I had Jorge Rivera. I wasn't very good at math, although Jorge says that I was, so thank you. He did explain very well. And he was very advanced in using calculators and using your mind to know why something would be useful. Not just like regurgitating from the text. He wouldn't allow us to write anything until he finished speaking. And then we could write our notes. And another important class was with Mrs. Segarra Evita Gutierrez. She's Segarra now. And she taught us geography in 8th grade. And that was fun.
What do you believe most influenced you later as an adult?
Let me think about that one. I have to think about the transition when I went to live by myself the following year, and I think the school prepared me really well for actually just taking care of myself. But I think critical thinking was a must, and I also think that the fact that we were allowed so much freedom, we had lunch pass and we were able to like walk around and have lunch at McDonald's, or we used to go to that place, ¿cómo se llama? Viapias, a lot. And we had a lot of freedom in the school, and I think that contributed to just being very self-confident and trusting yourself.
Did you ever go to the principal's office for getting in trouble?
Yes, I did get in trouble. Yes, I did. More than once, actually. I was sent to the principal's office for the first time in, I think it was second or third grade, and her name was Mrs. Harper. It was before Mrs. Kocher. I was sent again, I think, in sixth grade. And
Wow.
then the principal used to be Doctora Melendez. She was our principal. She was very nice, but strict, which was good. So yes, we were sent there, but at that time I was sent as a group, not just by myself. They made us think about what we did and how we could fix it. Basically, they sent us out to fix it. It wasn't just a mere punishment, like, yeah, write 10 lines or write this or write that.
In elementary, did you also have like fun activities or like Spirit Week?
No, we didn't have Spirit Week. Actually, the school was really, really small. We didn't have air conditioning. Do you know that the hallways and the other side of the building, which is now the middle school, they used to be open. There were no windows. So basically, the hallway was just a cement railing. But there were wall, ¿cómo se llama? Air conditioning in the windows, first grade and second grade, but nothing in the hallway. I remember in the fifth grade when they actually closed off the hallways and put air conditioning, it was like, wow. We used to have computers in kindergarten, and they had like this funny floppy disk. They were called Commodore Pets. And we had a teacher, her name was Mrs. Plock, and she would teach us computers in kindergarten. That was in 1978, 79.
You're old.
Yes. And I had $2 for the cafeteria, and I would have to administer my money so
Yeah.
that it would last all day.
You-
Papitas were 25 cents. Empanadillas 35. No, 35 was the fruit punch. Empanadillas were 50. And the hamburger was, I don't know what, el especial era 2 pesos.
In your cafeteria, did you have to pay with the money, or did you have like a credit card, or like did you have like a ID card, or do you have your account, or is it like you have to pay with money? Like
I had to pay with real money, and I had to add, subtract, and verify if my change was correct. My dad would give me money in the morning, and I would have a wallet. And every single kid in the first grade on, because in kinder no, but in first grade you have to actually pay and make sure that your money lasted throughout the day. One good thing about St. John's that I have to say is that everybody mingled, no matter what grade you were in. The seniors had to hang out with we all sat anywhere in the cafeteria, so there was no distinction between you're in 5th grade or you're in 11th, 10th, 9th, 8th. Everybody would just be friends and hang out together, which was, I think that's one very good thing. On Fridays, there were the chismes, which was they had a loudspeaker. Alex Garcia used to do the chismes, and other times other people would, and there was this logger where you could put in all the chismes of the week, and you would put a slip of paper in this logger, and then he would read them on Fridays in the recess. So he would stand on top with a loudspeaker on top of a table, and everybody from 6th grade to 12 would find out everything that was going on in the school with the student body.
oh my.
Yeah, oh my.
When did you guys?
Nobody would ever miss. On Fridays, everybody was outside in the Hurricane Center.
Your last memory.
My last exam was my last memory. Thinking that I'm never going to sit here again, it was kind of nostalgic.
Were you happy? I don't know when that's.
I didn't know if I was happy or not. I mean, no, I don't know if I was happy. I was nostalgic knowing that how many 14 years of tests here and then no more exams, and this is my last one. I remember it was final exams, and we would just leave the school at 10 when we were done. I kind of knew it the whole year. Strange, and then, I don't know. That was my last memory in the school, my exams. Conchita Adsuar, class of 1991.